During the pandemic, I met a patient who was never mine, but left me with a great lesson. Pandemic, General Hospital of Tijuana, the floor where the most severe patients were, almost all intubated. I will not forget this patient because he was one of the few patients I had conversations with, and he was conscious and not intubated. For several days, he was like that. On this floor, it was common to arrive the next day and see completely different patients in each of the rooms or wards because they would pass away from one day to the next. I remember this man very well, not only because he was conscious, but because I remember he was hospitalized for about 15 days. A 70-year-old man, tall, strong, with a healthy body, but he had something peculiar about him. He was always very afraid, and whenever I had a conversation with him, he expressed that he was very afraid of being intubated. This man, Asian, Mabanita two-bedroom, and coincidentally, I always had the patient next to him. He was never my patient, but every time I went in to attend to the patient next to him, he would say to me, I am very scared. I don't want to be intubated. Please don't let them intubate me. I told him, calm down, you are fine, and it's very important that you are not afraid. I emphasized that to him. I took a moment to tell him it's very important. What we've seen here to move forward is that you don't be afraid, that you stay calm. That helps in any situation. You stay calm. Sometimes I would tell him, breathe, stay calm, keep breathing. If you want to pray, pray something that calms you. Think about that. I never saw him calm down. One day he started to desaturate, his oxygen levels were dropping, and during the morning visit, the doctors told him that today he was desaturating, that it was dropping, and if it continued like that, they would be monitoring him very closely, but it was very likely that they would intubate him. He actively told them, I happened to hear when he said, please don't intubate me, don't intubate me. But they explained very well that it was because he could get tired, that his oxygen levels were getting lower, and that it was clear that, well, the nasal cannula and the oxygen he was receiving through it were not enough. Well, they tried to explain. The man didn't understand reason. He didn't want to be intubated. As soon as the doctors left the room, I approached him and told him again that it was very important, that it didn't matter anymore whether he was intubated or not, that it was very important for him to stay calm, with faith, with hope that he would get through it. He told me, everyone who gets intubated dies. They intubated him and he didn't last even a day. The next day, I had to prepare that bed for another patient. And when I was putting on the sheets and moved the mattress, I found a letter under the mattress. The letter was from his son. The letter said that he hadn't seen him for many years, that he had never been able to go because of work, that something always came up, whether it was work this or work that. He mentioned his work several times, but that this time, as soon as he was discharged, he would cross the border to go see him. The son was somewhere in California, in the United States, and was going to visit him when he was discharged. That day, when I finished reading the letter, I learned something very important, that life doesn't slip away all at once. It slips away with, I'll go later when I have time. Uresino kinan tayo na, after the pandemic, I decided to come live in Spain, and I always lived very close to my mom there in Mexico, and I would visit her constantly. I always had very deep conversations. I was always very inquisitive with her, and I know many things about her life from childhood to adulthood. I consider that I lived very closely with my mom, but when I was going to move to another country, well, I remembered this from the letter and had a farewell with her, always speaking with complete honesty. Of course, like all moms, I think what she wanted was for me to be happy and to go to the place where I would feel better. My mom is currently 90 years old, and although she has come to Spain to see me, and I have also gone to see her in Mexico again, well, always at farewells, I tell her that we never know if she will die first or if I will die first. I always say, Ite is make this joke. I tell her, Mania, I don't know if the plane is going to crash or if I'll get hit crossing a street. But that we have nothing left unsaid, that we love each other, that she told me, most likely when I die, you will be far away because of the time and distance. It is amete and Tatsia say, Sandy, and I don't want you to rush to come to my funeral just because they tell you that I died. And so far, I don't know what I still have left to live or how this moment of saying goodbye to our family will be. But what I want to tell you with what we are learning is that we shouldn't leave anything unsaid, that we shouldn't leave anything for later, that when we want to love someone, we should love them. When we have a conversation pending for any reason, whether negative or positive, we should talk about it and say it. Some just when we feel like hugging, let's hug. Time is not what is lacking, it's what we prioritize. And if you have someone you love, don't leave it for later. Until the next story.